Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesa Sunyavadi Paschachade Satarine Om Ajnana-timirandasya Gyanam-gyana-salakaya Chakshurunmilitam jena Tasmai Shri-gurave namaha Sri Chaitanya-manovistam Stapitam yena bhutale Swayam rupa-kadamayam Kadati swapadantikam Vandeham Shiguru Sijutapadakamalam Shiguru Vaishnavamscha Sirupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Sadvadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Sri Visakam Vitamscha Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesa Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurange Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Visabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya eva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Sivasadi Gaura Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Hare Krishna. So we continue reading from the Bhagavad Gita as it is, chapter 3, Karma Yoga, text 25. Is that correct? 15. Huh? 15. I'm too fast. Are you sure? Okay, 3.15. Huh? Please repeat after me. Karma, Brahma, udbhavam, viddhi, Brahma, akṣara-samudbhavam, tasmāt, sarva-gataṁ, Brahma, nityaṁ, yajñe, pratiṣṭhitam. Word for word meaning. Karma, work. Brahma, from the Vedas. Udbhavam, produced. Viddhi, you should know Brahma, the Vedas. Akṣara, from the Supreme Brahman, Personality of Godhead. Samudbhavam, directly manifested. Tasmāt, therefore. Sarva-gataṁ, all-pervading. Brahma, transcendence. Nityaṁ, eternally. Yajñe, in sacrifice. Pratiṣṭhitam, situated. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Regulated activities are prescribed in the Vedas, and the Vedas are directly manifested from the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Consequently, the all-pervading transcendence is eternally situated in acts of sacrifice. Everybody please repeat after me. Regulated activities are prescribed in the Vedas. And the Vedas are directly manifested from the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Consequently, the all-pervading transcendence is eternally situated in acts of sacrifice. Purport. Yajñārtha-karma, or the necessity of work for the satisfaction of Krishna only, is more expressly stated in this verse. If we have to work for the satisfaction of the yajña-puruṣa, Vishnu, then we must find out the direction of work in Brahman, or transcendental Vedas. The Vedas are therefore codes of working directions. Anything performed without the direction of the Vedas is called vikarma, or unauthorized or sinful work. Therefore, one should always take direction from the Vedas to be saved from the reaction of work. As one has to work in ordinary life by the direction of the state, one similarly has to work under the direction of the supreme state of the Lord. Such directions in the Vedas are directly manifested from the reading of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. It is said, Asya mahato bhutasya nisvasitam etayad Ṛg Veda Yajur Veda sāma-vedo tarva-girashaha. The four Vedas, namely the Ṛg Veda, Yajur Veda, Sāma-vedo, and Atharva-veda, are all emanations from the breathing of the great personality of Godhead. Bṛhad-āraṇyaka Upaniṣad, Canto 4, Chapter 5, Text 11. The Lord, being omnipotent, can speak by breathing air. For as it is confirmed in the Brahma-saṁhitā, the Lord has the omnipotence to perform through each of His senses the actions of all other senses. In other words, the Lord can speak through His breathing, and He can impregnate by His eyes. In fact, it is said that He glanced over material nature and thus fathered all living entities. After creating or impregnating the conditioned souls into the womb of material nature, He gave His directions in the Vedic wisdom as to how such conditioned souls can return home back to Godhead. We should always remember that the conditioned souls in material nature are all eager for material enjoyment. But the Vedic directions are so made that one can satisfy one's perverted desires, then return to Godhead, having finished his so-called enjoyment. It is a chance for the conditioned souls to attain liberation. Therefore, the conditioned souls must try to follow the process of yajna by becoming Krishna conscious. Even those who have not followed the Vedic injunctions may adopt the principles of Krishna consciousness that will take the place of performance of Vedic yajnas or karmas. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So having incoming contact with the energy which is inferior, the material energy, the conditioned souls has to find ways how to fulfill the desires, specifically the desire for becoming happy. And the main reason why the material world was created by the Supreme Lord is to fulfill this desire of the souls who wanted to be happy separate from the Supreme Lord. This is the kindness of the Supreme Lord to the souls who turn their faces away from the Supreme Lord Himself. And this is what makes Krishna as complete. If He did not fulfill the desires of the conditioned souls to be happy separated from Him, then He is not God. If He says, no, you cannot do that. You must just be with me. You cannot be separated from me. I will not give you that chance to be separated from me. That is not God. It just makes sense that Krishna fulfills everyone's desires. Why is this echo? Too much loud? Or what? Hare Krishna. Yeah, now it's better. It's better now. I just switch a little bit. The desire for the conditioned souls to lord over the material energy, to lord it over the material energy, the Supreme Lord want to make sure that yes, you can if you wish, but you will not be successful. It's not possible, because this is not our nature to be in the material world. So the material world was created for those who wish to be separated from Krishna Himself and to be happy separate from Krishna, because one cannot be with Krishna and be separated his happiness. His happiness depends on Krishna. So you cannot, or we cannot be in the spiritual world and be separated from Krishna and enjoy the way we want it to be. So the material world was created. And therefore, okay, there you go. Material world. You try to enjoy as you like. But you cannot. We cannot. So He is very, very compassionate in such a way that He gave us the Vedas for those who wants to enjoy sense, material pleasure. There is some guidelines how one can fulfill that. And if one acknowledges the guidance coming from the Supreme Lord Himself, then gradually he will be elevated from the mode of ignorance to passion to goodness and ultimately pure goodness. So direction coming from the Lord Himself through the Vedas. an intelligent person, a normal materialist, let's say, who doesn't follow the karma kanda section of the Vedas, there is no chance for him to become elevated into pure goodness. At least, even if one is in a mode of ignorance, follows the process as chalked out by the Supreme Lord Himself through these scriptures, namely the Vedas, then even one is in a mode of ignorance, gradually he will become elevated. He will be able to get out. The whole purpose of the Vedas is to help us to get out of this material world. Even to the point that, okay, you still want to enjoy, okay, here is the process. You want to enjoy, you have to follow direction. If you don't, you will remain here in this material world. Does it make sense? So Krishna, He is kind, He is compassionate. He is so eager. Prabhupada says, Krishna is more eager for us to get out of this material world than we do ourselves. Because we want to enjoy, okay? You want to enjoy? Remain in the material world. You want to get out? Okay, I'll show you the way by following the scriptures, injunctions coming from the Sastra. But one has to perform sacrifice as well. Yajñārtha-karma lokoyam karma bandhana tad artam karma konteya mukta sangha samachara. Huh? What? What? You are not hearing me? Not clear? Am I clear or not clear? Huh?
This mic is powerful. You have to keep the distance at least.
Yeah, that's why I'm speaking like this. I'm not eating them out. That's why I'm like this already. You want to come closer? Is it clear at the back? So why are you not clearing? Something problem? So, Yajñārtha, I don't want to shout. My voice is, I have to use it properly. Yajñārtha. Yajñārtha means one has to perform work, but as a sacrifice. Sacrifice means for the pleasure of the Supreme Lord. Not, I work for my own sense enjoyment. If I work for my own sense enjoyment, then I become more and more entangled. So the Vedas is set in such a way that if we perform what is prescribed, the direction given, then it is considered as a sacrifice which is meant for the pleasure of the Supreme Lord. Because we give the result or the fruits of our activities for the pleasure of Krishna. Now, generally the materialists, they don't know this. The materialists, they just perform their activities, they work hard day and night only for the purpose so that they can enjoy themselves. They can enjoy the senses with the sense objects. We mentioned this in the class. The senses, these are like extension, how I'll be able to fulfill my material desires. Because the mind is always making plans how to be more comfortable, how to be properly situated, how to have an easy life. But it's not really easy life because they do not really enjoy the fruits of their activities. It says that the rich person is always afraid that someone will steal his money. And Prabhupada says, then if the wife steals the money of the husband, says, oh, he's very happy. He's very happy. How can he scold the wife? How can he slap the face of the wife from taking his own money? Actually, he likes it more like that. Is that true? Yes? Grihastas? Is that true? Of course. Because this is what you call extended sense enjoyment. We want to enjoy ourselves, but when we see my wife is happy, I want to make her more happy, then I will fulfill all of her material desires. Same with my children. If my children want many, many things, and if they cry, I don't want them to cry. I will give them everything so that they will be happy, so-called happy. Extended sense enjoyment. So where is the use? Because the purpose is to get out of this material world. And therefore, they'll be so fortunate when they meet devotees, because the devotees will help them understand the directions, the proper direction whereby one should follow. And the Vedas is there, the Bhagavad Gita is there, the essence of the Vedas. We don't have enough one lifetime to read the whole Vedic literatures. It's not possible. We're lazy. Kali Yuga means people are lazy. If we can just read one sloka a day, that is very good. Sloka a day keeps Maya away. I'm making it a habit to hear the Bhagavad Gita. There is you can find it in YouTube also. The whole Bhagavad Gita, the whole 18 chapters of the Bhagavad Gita. Just the slokas in English. Prabhupada's translation. And it's so purifying. So it says here, the Vedas are therefore codes of working directions. Anything performed without the direction of the Vedas is called vikarma, or unauthorized or sinful work. So 99.999999% are in this category. They are in the vikarma. This is what you call also ugra karma. Working hard day and night for nothing, for a little bit of sense enjoyment. And then what they only obtain is more and more reactions, sinful activities that they perform. And there's no way of getting out from this, only when they meet the devotees. When the devotees engage them in some kind of pious activities that will lead them later on to have the initial faith, to associate with the devotees of the Supreme Lord. It's what you call agyata sukriti. Agyata sukriti. By engaging them, by giving them Bhagavad Gita or other literatures that Srila Prabhupada has translated, by having them hear the chanting of the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra in congregational chanting of Sankirtan, or by having them taste the prasadam. The initial stage is like this, that when one have a little bit of taste, then he does not want to have that, lose that opportunity to not again repeat the same what one has tasted. Especially Harinam or Prasadam or books. Srila Prabhupada's books are so powerful. So, yes, even in living in a society, we have to follow direction. It's like to move from one place to another place, to go to Delhi, you need a direction. You just don't drive blindly and saying that I will arrive in Delhi. Is that true, Prabhuji? Yes? You cannot, oh yeah, there is a saying, all the road leads to Rome. Is that true? Well, in those days, the Roman Empire rules the entire world. But not all the roads lead to Rome. You may end up in Paris, France, or London, or Tokyo, or whatever. So blindly, one cannot just say, okay, I want to go there. But, well, of course, now they use GPS. So they give you also direction how to reach there. So similarly, to attain the goal of life, which is to be happy, the desire to be happy is there. Desire you cannot kill. Prabhupada says, desire, either you have material desire or a spiritual desire. Spiritual desire means for my sense enjoyment. And spiritual desire means for Krishna's pleasure. Only two. If it's material desire, then I will just be accumulating sinful reactions. If my desire is for Krishna's pleasure or the Vaishnava's pleasure, then no more karma. Krishna will take care of everything. So we have to know the direction, how to proceed. And this is the duty of the Vaishnavas, the devotees, to tell the conditioned souls that, my dear sir, you are going in the wrong direction. I know you want to go this way, but that is the wrong direction. The direction is this way. You want to go there? Fine. You are responsible. But here, if we go this way, Krishna will take care of everything. Because this way is going towards Krishna, and here, towards being more and more entangled in the material world. So yes, Krishna, He gave us the material world. But He did not leave us alone. He wanted us to be out of this material world. See, the kindness is there. Okay, you want it, but I know this is not good for you, so I will make arrangement for you to get out of here also. And getting out of here is that it is coming from me as well, because you will never be able to solve it yourself. It's not possible. So let me give you the Vedas. By following the Vedas, even though it says Vedas mainly deals with three modes of material nature, it's a very, what do you call it, flowery language. It's very entangling at the same time. Because even some who wanted to understand the Vedas, they concluded that the absolute truth is impersonal. Because they speculate, they don't take authorities, they don't take proper guidance from the right source. So the devotees, their main purpose is that also to assist the Supreme Lord. They carry the same anxiety as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Krishna could have been just like playing in Vrindavan. He doesn't have to worry about us. Isn't it? I mean, Krishna could have said, okay, you wanted the material world? Okay. That's okay. Bye-bye. I don't have anything to do with you. No, he's so concerned indirectly through his different avatars. Krishna is there in Vrindavan, Goloka Vrindavan, just playing. But at the same time, he's thinking, no, I cannot do like this all the time. Because the way that he expanded himself, the jivas, parts and parcels of the Supreme Lord. Mamaivamso jivaloka jivabhuta sanatana. We are of the same nature of the Supreme Lord because we are parts and parcels of the Supreme Lord. Krishna created the jivas for his own enjoyment as well. He's already fully satisfied, but at the same time he expanded himself. And therefore, we are part of Krishna, and then we cannot be happy being away from Krishna. So Krishna's concern is like the parents. The parents, their concern is always for their children. They cannot sleep if the child is in trouble. They want to make sure that the child is asleep. Then they can fall asleep. But still, they may be closing their eyes, but their mind is always on the child. Especially if the child is sick. And we are all sick, materially diseased here. We're all materially diseased. That's why we're still here. Otherwise, we could have gone back home, back to Godhead, or somewhere else. So Krishna, through the agency of the devotees, especially the pure devotees, the spiritual master, who carries the same anxiety. The desire of Krishna is for all of us to go back home, back to Godhead, and the spiritual master also's desire is that for the disciples to go back home, back to Godhead as well. Same. That's why the spiritual master is the most, is the dearest. So the Lord, being omnipotent, it says here, can speak by breathing. This is the different senses of the Supreme Lord are interchangeable. We've heard that from the Brahma-saṁhitā. That is why when we offer bhoga to the Supreme Lord, He eats through His eyes. And then we say, oh, this is Mahaprasad. Well, why is it still there? If Krishna already have eaten what we offered, why is it still there? He says that he already tasted it. That his saliva has already touched the bhoga. It becomes prasad. But then it becomes more powerful if it's been tasted by the pure devotee, and then after being tasted by the pure devotee, it becomes Mahaprasad. That is most powerful. So how to understand this? This is transcendental. This is mystical. We cannot reach, our mind cannot reach, comprehend how is this happening. It says here, the Lord can speak through His breathing, and He can impregnate by His eyes. Yes, Mahavishnu, Mahatattva. The whole material energy in the beginning is in the sleeping state, but by the glance of the Supreme Lord, everything start to become into being, start to have life. In fact, it is said that He glanced over the material nature and thus fathered all living entities. Then Lord Brahma, being the first created being, Lord Brahma doesn't have a mother. He's the only person who doesn't have a mother. But he has a father coming from the abdomen, lotus flower coming out. So this is the nature of how we can get out of this material world. Being conditioned means we have a tendency to upgrade ourselves, or we can have the tendency to degrade ourselves. And the Vedic directions gives us the way how we can upgrade ourselves, because ultimately there is the karma kanda section of the Vedas, then there is the jnana kanda section of the Vedas, and there is the upasana kanda section of the Vedas. Karma kanda means ritualistic ceremonies, ritualistic rites, things that if one wants to fulfill one's material desires, there it is. But then after some time, he can figure out, hey, I'm not really making it. Doesn't make sense. Why do I have to fulfill my material desires? Then he started to have knowledge. Now he wants to become more and more inquisitive. He wants to inquire more about what is higher than this. And then eventually one will come to the worship of the different demigods, Upasana Kanda. Well, ultimately he will realize that where is the source of the power? Where is the source of the energy? Where all of this coming from? Then one concludes that Krishna, Vasudeva Sarvam Iti Samahatma Sudurlabha. It's very rare still to come to the platform of being conditioned and then come to understand that Krishna is all in all, or Vasudeva is all in all. That I have to perform everything as a sacrifice so that I become Krishna conscious. Is very rare. There's over, how many, 7 billion people now? Huh? 7 billion people? Almost 8 billion? How many are practicing Bhakti Yoga? Huh? 10 lakhs? How many percent is that? 7 billion. Not even 1%. Huh? And out of those 1%, how many are really fully surrendered? Or even 50% surrender? How many? Not many. This is why it's very rare. Mahatma. Sa-mahatma sudurlabha. Very, very rare. So you should be grateful somehow that we have come in contact with Srila Prabhupada. He is the person who saved us. And through his disciples, the present spiritual masters, we understand that also by following their instructions, that will make advancement, that we will ultimately reach our goal. One cannot say, I don't need a spiritual master. We need a spiritual master, a living spiritual master who can give us the direction. And that direction is also coming from the Guru Parampara, who ultimately coming from the Supreme Lord. The spiritual master is like, put us into focus. Focus us. It's like, if I don't wear my eyeglasses, you're all blurred. I will not see your face. So the spiritual master is like that. He focused us by giving us instruction, by following the instructions, by giving us the directions, by following the directions, by applying the knowledge that is given to us, then we'll be able to be connected to the parampara, to Srila Prabhupada, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj, Bhaktivinoda Thakur, who go up to Lord Krishna. So there is an urgency to become Krishna conscious, because we don't know how much more we have in this world. The lifespan in Kali Yuga is becoming shorter and shorter, day after day after day. We're not sure. At any moment, the serpent, Kala, may strike on us. And we cannot say, wait, I'm not ready yet. I am not ready yet. Give me a little bit more time. So yes, every day we should become more and more serious. And in this way, whatever we lack, Krishna will make it up. There is a verse like that in the Bhagavad Gita, right? He preserves what we have, and He carries what we lack. It depends on one's surrender. Okay, we stop here. Any other points or comments? Any question? Yes, sir.
The acoustics in this hall are extremely
Poor.
Poor, yes, is a good description. And
I don't know.
often it's not possible to hear the ladies when they're reading the verses. Or there was a lady last week speaking and she couldn't hear what this question was from a man 20 feet away.
We have to do something. We see, actually, thank you for your feedback. It's an honest feedback, and I'm very grateful for this. Actually, we're going to be using this room. We're going to be using this Balaram Hall more and more in hearing and chanting the holy name, fame, form, qualities, and pastimes of the Supreme Lord. So yes, we have to improve. We don't have a sound engineer here. These are all speculation, I'm sorry to say. You see how many speakers we have here? And still you cannot hear me properly. That Prabhuji is correct. The one who was sitting there. See, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And, there's one there. There's one there. Speakers everywhere. It doesn't make sense. We can have those two. We're gonna change all of this. We're gonna make this as the best as possible. Okay? See, now we have, what is this? Oh, these are the AC. We start with the AC first so you feel good, so you don't feel hot. Next one, we're gonna start. This is the most important. In our institution, the most important is the hearing. Not the AC. I can, you can be here without, but we want to make you feel good. Okay, the next step is change all of this into Bose. Bose speakers. Bose speakers. Huh? It doesn't. Thank you very much. I'm speaking, but it's not clear, really. Huh? See, I cannot even hear you. Echo. Maybe the way it is set up or something. I don't know, but blind uncle better than no uncle. This is what we're having right now. Okay, so give us some time. Those who are listeners also, please send your donations. We'll get a good acoustics here. Really, it's very much needed because we're using this the most now. Now we don't. Huh? Every day we use this like 3-4 times. And if you want to read, you go to Prabhupada's house. This is gonna be the first priority now. I'm so serious because it makes sense, isn't it? Thank you, sir. Any other question? Yes. After, she has. Yes.
Krishna Maharaj, please accept
I can hear from her.
my question is, like Anugraha. So as a Grahastha, we need to maintain this body, and all other ashramas are depends on Grahastha ashrama. So we need to work outside. We need to gain some money for all these things.
Mm-hmm.
So how to surrender as a Grahastha and how to practice pure devotional service as a Grahastha?
As a Grihastha, you practice Krishna consciousness to the best of your ability. Have Krishna as the center of your life. Offer your food to Krishna. Make your ashram Krishna conscious. Okay? If you have to work, then work and offer some of the fruits, the results of your activities in spreading Krishna consciousness. So that will become karma yoga, action in Krishna consciousness. If you say, oh no, I cannot give now, I will give later, that may not happen. Whatever you can offer to Krishna, give. In other religions, institutions, they're like mandatory, they ask their congregation members to offer 10%. Minimum 10%. But I don't know, some of our devotees, they don't even give 1%. They give everything for themselves. This is for Krishna. I'm doing everything is for Krishna. Is it really? For Krishna or for my own sense enjoyment? So the mentality is that Krishna is the supreme enjoyer. My children, I am not the owner of my children. I am a caretaker. Krishna is the owner of everything. He is the supreme proprietor. So in this way, you purify your ashram, Grihastha ashram. Associate with the devotees as much as possible. Bring your children here. We have a lot of children in our community who are very Krishna conscious. Very Krishna conscious. It starts from there. Okay, one last question.
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Hare Krishna.
How we can make our parents also Krishna consciousness? How we can make our parents Krishna
The parents?
consciousness? I mean, we are also very steadily moving, but not so steadily.
Okay.
And how our parents, like at the age?
Set a good example yourself, because they may be not devotees, let's say, but you set the best example. Let's say they eat meat, okay, let them eat meat. Can I say, oh, Pitaji, Mataji, you cannot eat meat? No. It's too late now. Let them do whatever they're doing, but you be the best example as you can be. In this way, you'll give credits, some of your activities, the result to them. It's like one time, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur was once asked, there is a wife complaining, Guru Maharaj, my husband eats meat and he wants me to cook for him. What shall I do? You cook. That's okay. But don't compromise the principles. You yourself be a good example. Okay? Example is better than precept. Okay? Srila Prabhupada.